Hello crypto boys and ghouls, and welcome back to the channel Tales from the Cryptomancer, where we feature content on play to earn games on the blockchain such as God's Unchained. And here we are in the game. If you look at here for our rank, we are at Mythic rank. We achieved Mythic rank with a free to play deck. I'm going to talk in this video about the deck that we used over the weekend to climb to Mythic, how we got to first Ethereal Diamond, what moves we made on Immutable X to make it happen, and ultimately the deck that got us into Mythic by defeating a number of very strong Mythic decks to get here. So let's hop into it, and then we'll conclude the video. I'll include my last battle with the actual deck that got us into Mythic, so you can see how the deck plays if you want to stick around for that to see that gameplay. So with that being said, let's talk about the free-to-play deck that we used to get into Ethereal Diamond this weekend. For the 1-mana cards, for the monsters, we have 2 Switch Duelists, 2 Patient Pickpockets, and 2 Vanguard Axewoman, as well as 2 Dark Knife spells and 2 Stone Skin Poison spells. The goal of this is to use the Switch Duelists early to maintain some board control. If we can put Dark Knives on them to get them to a 6/1 from an attack perspective, that's great. Stone Skin Poison is going to slow the enemy down and do some removal of the opponent. The Patient Pickpocket is a good way for us to draw our opponent's cards if we need some help. And Vanguard Axewoman is for our board control. For the 2-mana cards, we have 2 Skeleton Heavies for their stats, and we have Assassin's Aim, similar to Dark Knives, to give us +3 damage, and also hidden at the expense of -1 health. So that can be a very defensive-based play if necessary. And again, if we're able to increase our damage by +3, on even if it was on a Skeleton Heavy that can go face, that's 5 damage to the god. That adds up pretty quickly if they can't maintain board control or remove it. For the 3 mana, we actually have 2 Dune Cavalry and 2 Hunt Warden for their stats. We have 2 Vault Vagabonds for card draw, and we have 2 Ludia's Dedicants also for card draw. So what you saw here with a number of these cards to start with is, we have a lot of card drawing power because we have a lot of low power mana curve here, so a lot of 1, 2s, and 3s for our cards. And what the card draws give us is the ability to outdraw or basically borrow legendary cards, other high-powered cards from our opponents that we wouldn't otherwise have access to or could afford. For our 4-mana cards, we have 2 Wetlands Ogres for stats and 2 Veteran Archers for ping and protection damage. At level 5 or 5 mana, we have 2 Guild Enforcers. These are just really OP right now with their armor, so it's a really good card to put down. And for example, Nature has a really hard time dealing with that card once it's on the board. And then we have 2 Rapture Dances for board clears in case we lose board control to an aggro deck. So that is the deck. We achieved this deck free to play basically by going into Immutable X. We went to the Forge, we minted a couple cards, some spell cards and some other cards, basically to purchase 1 Guild Enforcer that was missing from our deck. We also used the Forge to pick up these 2 Ludia's Dedicants, which are really cheap on the market, which are good cards for us. And then we picked up also from the market 2 Switch Duelists and 1 Stone Skin Poison, and that was it. And basically we just picked those up for free by flipping some common core cards that we minted and sold on Immutable X. So that was the deck that got us into Ethereal Diamond, and then this deck kind of got stymied a little bit and wasn't really able to get past maybe 50% Ethereal Diamond. we kept, basically just getting stuck there and stalling and not able to get to Mythic. So what I ended up doing then was minting a couple more cards. Actually, I just minted one card. I minted a Warmonger Smith, which is an epic card. I had two of those, and I sold that, and it was able to build this deck and still have quite a bit of funds left over. So this is the deck that got us into Mythic for free to play. Really we only made 2 additions. So we took out the 2 Stone Skin Poisons and replaced it with Nightmare as a spell. So we bought 2 of these on the market after forging and selling the Warmonger Smith. The Nightmare does 2 damage to a creature, and if it's sleeping, it does 5 damage. So it's basically like a cheaper tracking bolt with the ability to be like a Worm Breath under the right conditions for 1 mana. So it's good value. And the way we can use the sleeping to our advantage is we actually picked up 2 of these Satyr Hypnotist, and these are really good cards. At the end of your turn, a random enemy creature goes to sleep. So basically you can play them to the board, and if there's 1 or 2 enemy monsters on the board, either one of those will go to sleep for the next turn, so basically incapacitating them on your opponent's turn. Now this is a great card if you have board control, and typically this deck did start with board control, whether it went first or second usually. And once you can play the Satyr Hypnotist, unless they can remove them with spells, they really can maintain that board control, because as soon as they play a monster, it's going to go to sleep and stay asleep. They basically need to flood the board to get board control back or use a spell. And then everything else in the 3 mana remained the same. 4 mana remained the same as well in 5 and 6. So really all we did to get to Mythic on a free-to-play deck is we swapped out Stone Skin Poison for 2 Nightmares, and we actually just added 2 Satyr Hypnotists. We just removed a spell, I think it was Assassin's Aim. So this is the deck, free to play, that got us to Mythic. It's not terribly hard to trade up to get those cards necessarily. So I played for 4 weeks and had plenty of cards to choose from the mints and swap to get this deck. So I'm quite happy with it. Our free-to-play Mythic deck on Deception. I'm now going to look to maybe Death or War or Magic to create my second deck and go from there and just keep building up from here, because I'm getting really nice rewards now being at the Mythic level and doing well in weekend ranked battles. So I'm looking forward to continuing to grow the account, grow the cards, and build stronger decks to compete at the highest level that I can. So I will hop into the game that took us to Mythic, so you can see some of the gameplay of the deck in action. And I hope this has been beneficial for you. If it has been, certainly like the video, subscribe to the channel for more Gods Unchained content, and we'll see you next time or in the game. And let's hop into our gameplay now. Alright, we might be 1 win away from entering Mythic with this free-to-play Deception deck. Let's see if we can do it. We've been fighting some really tough opponents, all Mythic players that we're drawing at this point, with very, very strong decks. Lots of legendary cards we're seeing for the first time. Having to adjust here and try and find a way to win. This is actually possibly good for us. This is a Solar Gold level player. We might have a chance to win this. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can pull a Guild Enforcer or a Dark Knives with that last pull. Actually, that's not bad. We'll go with Switch Duelist. And if we can maintain board control and put this Satyr Hypnotist down, that would be a pretty strong move. I don't want to lose the duelist to that. So we'll actually use the Nightmare and the Viking to trade, just to maintain board control and not have to use our small bag of tricks at this point. An ideal card for us to pull this next round would either be a Dark Knives or a Guild Enforcer. Okay, we got a Wetlands Ogre. So it's a 3/2. Would take out our Switch Duelist and or our Hunt Warden if we played it. If I played the Hypnotist, it would put it to sleep. So let's do that. Go face. Interesting, they went face. Alright, that's the reason why. Alright, at this point, we could trade and keep board control. We could do that and that. Having that Satyr Hypnotist, I guess that's how you pronounce it, on the board is pretty key for us. We're going to put one of them to sleep. I want to lose that protection. So that would allow us to field the Hunt Warden, use our God Power to get rid of the protection, get in the Pickpocket, and do we want the Protect? I think we kind of want to draw that card with a lineup roller, so we'll wait till next turn for that. That's good. We're able to put the Valka's Captain to sleep again. So we're going to want to get rid of that creature. And this creature too. Alright, so they've played pretty much their entire hand, and it's a good play for them. How are we going to combat this? We've got to get this board cleared. Three, two, don't want to lose that hypnotist, but I don't have an option otherwise. Let's see what card we draw. All right, we get the Phalanx, so now he has that to play as well. And he will play that, I'm sure. He'll probably play it and give it protected with his Enduring Shield, which is fine. We'll have to use our God Power. Just gonna hold. Interesting. That's not what we wanted to see. Okay. Let's start by getting rid of that. Yeah, we can't kill it in one turn. And I kind of want to steal that. All right. So they have two front lines, which is a problem. So they've taken back the board. And that's perfect timing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty good. We need to do it because there's going to be too much damage otherwise, so we have to use it. We do have flank, so I wonder if that activates. It does not. We have 1 mana left. I guess we have to take this out. Actually use that for next turn to draw a card. So they're out of cards. They do have Sanctum that they can pull here. Field Tracker is not going to be good for them. They want the Vow of Champions to draw a card, which they are going to use, and use that to draw a card. Okay, and they got a pretty good draw, actually. Okay, our veteran archer will come in handy here until they pull that card, which hurts us. Alright, still get rid of that. So we have to play the veteran archer. Along with our god power. That's all we can do. So our play at this point, if they didn't do anything on this turn, God power to get rid of the skeleton heavy, and then drop down Wetlands Ogre. All right, let's see. So I have flank, so they did not attack. That's very strange. So we're going to hide that. We're going to do that. And that is the game. Excellent. So it took a little while. Let's see if it's enough to get us into Mythic. Wow, we got to Ethereal Diamond. Right now, we're in Mythic. Officially, yes, we are in Mythic.